Engineering to Captain Kirk. Engineering to Captain Kirk. Oh, what is it now, Snorty? Captain, there's cornmeal caught up inside the Heisenberg compensator. What? Well, how in the world? Well, get it out of there. Use your magnetic probe to get it out. Well, did it work? Well, I thought it did. Well, that's great, but how in the world did cornmeal get caught up inside the Heisenberg compensator? I'm not really sure, Captain. I'm gonna have to look into it. I'll do an investigation. Thank you. Have a good day. Engineering out. Hey, everybody. Well, today I thought we could take a look at yet another obscure prop from Star Trek, the original series. Now, this device is called a magnetic probe, and we would see it kind of sprinkled here and there in different episodes, usually when Scotty was working on something and you'd see it on the floor, or maybe in his toolbox or something. But it is predominantly used in an episode called That Which Survives, which is from Season 3. And it gets a really good close-up, too. So Scotty's got to crawl into this... I don't know what it is. It's like some kind of a duct that he has to crawl into to repair something. And there's all kinds of lightning and stuff going on in it. And he uses this device to repair whatever it is that he's supposed to be repairing. And so we get a really good close-up of this. And let's take a look at some clips from the show. All right, so in this scene, we can see Scotty is crawling through the tube right here where he's got to get to that little section to repair. And you can see all the lightning going through there. Now, see in his mouth, you can see that he is carrying the magnetic probe right there. Here's where we get a good close-up look at this, and you can see the original prop was in fact made of metal as well. You can kind of see the little ridges right up here, these little kind of checkerboard looking things. There's like a clear red curved piece right up there, and you can see that these little, I don't know what you call them, these little fins back here are kind of like a clear acrylic. So it's actually a pretty cool looking prop for a show back in the day. Okay, now here's an interesting scene. So Mr. Spock tells Scotty that he has to reverse the polarity on this magnetic probe. That always seems to be the way out of a lot of these things at these science fiction shows where they're in some kind of a pickle and they need to get out of it. They have to reverse the polarity to fix it. But what's really interesting here is you can see that James Doohan, who played Scotty, you can actually see where his finger is missing. His middle finger is missing on his right hand. And they rarely ever showed that. I mean, it's most of the time they kind of, I would say, hid it maybe. And the only time I think I've ever seen where you can actually see that is in one of the movies. I can't remember. It's the one where Uhura brings Scotty some snacks and they're eating, and you can kind of see when he's tearing the bag open that his finger is missing. But I can't remember how he was, you know, had this accident where he was missing his finger. He was in the military, and I think that's probably where it happened. But I find it interesting that they allowed him to do that. And it's also interesting that it's actually him doing this scene. A lot of times when there's close-ups like this, it's usually done by a second unit, and they usually have somebody else doing the close-ups for the hands. So it's usually not the actor's hands. But in this case, it really is James Doohan. And so I actually had the opportunity to do this sort of a thing when I was doing some commercials here locally for a supermarket here in town several years ago. And I actually had to do a close-up of me holding the ham. It was supposed to be another person doing it, but that person went home for the night, and so I actually had to do the close-up for the hand. So it was kind of a similar thing where, you know, it wasn't actually the same person doing it, because they don't, you know, hands usually look the same. But in this case, it was pretty cool that they actually let James Doohan do this scene. So here we can see Scotty is trying to reverse the polarity by pushing that section of the handle out, but it gets stuck, and so it creates like a tension point in the story. Alright, so looking back now at this piece, we can see that this is a pretty darn close replica to what we saw in that episode. So here is the detail right up here. There's those little kind of checkerboard kind of looking things, or just these little weird bumps sticking up, and then you got these kind of details going on here. These are actually pretty sharp. This is made of machined aluminum. Here is that clear red acrylic piece that's in there. And it looks just like it. It's kind of got that weird curved shape to it. Then you got the main section right here. It's like a big old, I don't know, hub that's right there in the middle. And then you got this nice handle going on. And then here's the part with the clear acrylic fins that are on here, and then there's some orange tape on there, and then that's the back of it. So just like on the actual prop, you can pull this out. Let me see if I can do this. Guess mine's stuck too. Okay, there we go. So this pulls out. You can see it's just a hollow acrylic piece right here. And then he flips it another way to put it on here. But these actually do not line up any other way but the original way. So it's too bad. I think it's just because this was a handmade piece, and these are probably not in there absolutely perfect. It only fits one way in here. So I can't remember which way it was now. Let me see. It's not that way either. It only fits there it is. So yeah. So I do wish you could kind of flip this like they did in the show, and that these were even enough that you could do it, but it only does fit the one way, unfortunately. But it's cool that you can at least take that off. So you can see how it's all machined in there. So it's very, very nicely done. It's a great looking piece. Now, this was made by a gentleman that I believe his name was Gaston. He usually sells a lot of this stuff on eBay, and he has some really nice, top quality pieces. I think it's Gaston Huckabee, I believe, is the listing. And you'll see some of his stuff pop up occasionally, and I think I bought a couple pieces from him. But this one here, I think, was one of my favorites that he made, because it looks just like the actual thing. Really nicely done. So, yeah, once again, it was another great eBay find. I just love being able to find these props, because back in the day you could never find this stuff. I mean, you had to go to conventions, and every time you went to a convention you hoped that in the dealer's room you'd find some kind of cool looking prop or treasure, and that it was actually a nice looking one, not cheaply slapped together. And so stuff like this was virtually impossible to get back in the day. So it's really nice to be able to peruse the eBay sites and just on the internet in general and find this stuff, and it's great. So I don't remember how much I paid for it. I've had it for a long time. I still see him selling these on rare occasions. I don't see him pop up as much as they used to. He might have some stuff on there now. I don't even know. But anyway, that is Scotty's magnetic probe prop replica. A very nice piece, and from the episode That Which Survives from Season 3. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed a close-up look at this piece. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe if you'd like. I'd really appreciate that. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next episode. So thanks again, and have a good one.